And some of them will have logical opinions that yes, it will affect. But then you went against all of this, all of the data that will tell you don't do it, your customers are here, blah, blah, blah. You don't need to be political or you don't need to speak about humanity.
Mm-hmm.
But you made it and you went in. Like the
Yeah.
rebel Huda
Yeah.
came, and I can see it in
Yeah.
your businesses, I can see it in your life, I can see it in Huda Beauty.
Yeah.
So how did you make this decision and why?
In an industry where silence is safe, Huda Kattan chose courage. As a billionaire entrepreneur and a global icon, she risked it all, her brand, her business, her reputation, to speak out for Palestinians. While others prioritized profits, she prioritized truth. Kudos to her, man. Huda's decision wasn't easy. She faced fear, backlash, and the weight of an empire on her shoulders. But real bravery isn't the absence of fear, it's standing tall despite it. And the moment she proves that influence isn't just about success, it's about using your voice when it matters.
It's a tough thing for me to talk about because I get emotional talking about it because I feel like I still haven't resolved all my feelings there. But it was a turning point for me. You know, I chose to speak about it just because I always felt, and I spoke about this recently, but I always felt in my heart, like in my soul, one day, like I'm building all of this material world, and don't get me wrong, I love the material world, but the inside of me just also feels like a big disconnect with it as well. Like I think all of us do. You know, like we have this outside beautiful world, but then we also have like this inside of us that like wants to be grounded, wants to be like with earth, wants to be like with people, like wants to feel that vulnerability, the real conversations, you know? And I've always felt kind of like like torn between the two. And I always felt like at one point, like I'm gonna have to make a decision to choose between right and wrong. Because what I'm doing in many ways is I'm trying to be in the material world and trying to make a change. But at one point, I might have to really prove like what I am here for. And when everything happened in Palestine, I knew, like, I was like, I have to, like, I can't, it's not up to me. You know, this is why my platform is here. I have to speak up. And it always makes me a little emotional talking about it because like, I still feel like some of those emotions that I felt when I was going through it. And it's still ongoing. So I still feel emotions from it. But it was like a terrifying thing, you know, like having to choose. I have cared so much my whole entire life about people liking me, accepting me, caring about me being here, like just seeing me being present, and then throwing it all away. It was really tough, really tough. But it was also one of the best things that ever happened to me because I felt like facing that fear, looking at that moment and being like, I'm afraid I'm going to lose everything. I'm afraid I'm going to lose my business. I'm afraid I'm going to lose my employees. I'm afraid they're going to quit. I'm afraid I'll lose friends, business partners. And then saying, I don't care, kind of redefined me a little bit. And I don't know, it almost like gave me this moment of feeling like I don't care what I lose. And I don't know, that was like something for me. It gave me that freedom, you know. It almost like gave me the feeling of like, well, now I can actually be who I am and I can speak about what I want and I don't have to be in fear. And yeah, it was freeing. It was really, really freeing. And I happened to turn 40 right when that happened too. So it was like all at once. And I was just like, this is it. This is like what I'm supposed to do. And this is what I'm supposed to say. And yeah, it was a moment for me, for sure.
Yeah, for me, I was just connecting young Huda moment. Like I was thinking the young Huda that wasn't comfortable with her name, wasn't comfortable with her identity, and then she's worked so hard on herself. And you finally get an opportunity and you can just be you.
Crazy. And it's like, it's crazy. Like I had so many people messaging me, so many Palestinians messaging me, like, what are you doing? Are you crazy? So many of my close friends, people in my, you know, very, very close circles, like, what are you doing? Making me feel like I was crazy by using my voice. And I was already scared, you know, and it was just like, I had to like, just put all of that aside and just like, almost like not think about it. Like I had to do what was right at that moment, you know, and it was crazy. I literally faced all of my fears and it gave me so much freedom. Like it really did. At the end of the day, it just gave me freedom. Like it made me feel more who I am now, you know? Changed my life. That moment changed my life.
Why does it make you emotional?
I don't know. It makes me emotional. I think I just haven't gotten over it. You know, like I still think like there's still some fear there that I haven't completely resolved. And I just continue to like push through, you know, and watching sometimes what happens and seeing what's happening in, you know, in Palestine and everywhere right now. It's hard to see, you know? And so I'm a human at the end of the day, you know, I'm a mom at the end of the day. And so I feel these things really deeply. And like you said earlier, you know, you were speaking about something else, but like injustice itself just really bothers me. It really bothers me. I think as at a human level, we're bothered. Most humans are bothered by it.
Or should.
They should be bothered. All humans should be bothered.
It's our nature, I guess. But it seems, for me, it's bewildering how something like this can happen in this modern age.
It's crazy.
If this happened 100 years ago, 300 years ago, I'd be like, yeah, barbaric.
Yeah.
Now, how?
Yeah.
Any religion, any culture, it's just, if you're an animal, you don't accept to see another animal get hurt. So it becomes a point of a human topic, not culture, country. It's a human topic.
Like I always thought, like, if I was alive during like these other genocides, like I would have done something. You know, like I would have spoken out for any of these other genocides that ever existed. I would have done something. And so now, you know, it feels like I have to use my platform. You know.
You know what I like about you, or one of the things I like about you. I'm not gonna make it that lame and only one thing.
It can be one thing. One thing's great.
It's not. I will never sugarcoat, so it's definitely not one. I see also a lot of similarities in us.
Yeah, me too.
You are brave. And I'll tell you, why am I saying it this way? Because we think that courage is the absence of fear. And the real courage has nothing. A firefighter is scared when he sees fire, but he still decides, some lives matter. Mine can be dispensable. I will go. That's bravery. This is what people need to understand. You're facing fear. And
I'm not fearless.
why am I trying to bring this context of you as a woman who spoke? You're not a woman who doesn't have a daughter, who doesn't have a family, who doesn't have a global company, that even if you speak, you have like 100 people listening. Yeah, I'm not undermining the people who do that, but the stakes are way higher than anybody in this room. It's very risky. So with all that fear, to still say, maybe this is a moment where I've always spoken about me making a point or using my voice. Should I go back to the Huda that is Heidi? Will I go to Huda?
Khalas.
And then I think you took that moment, although you could have remained afraid, and you could have remained like, no, I will not use, I'll be safe.
It's so funny you say that, because people would say that to me all the time. They're like, you're fearless. And I'm like, I am not fearless. I am so afraid. And I'm afraid all the time. Like, I'm afraid on so many levels, like something happening to me, something happening to my family, something happening to my business, always afraid. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to look fear in the eye and say, fuck you. Like, and I think that's exactly what you said. Like, it is important to sometimes look at these things. And I think I've always been like that as a child, but it was conditioned. Like, I didn't do that, you know, like guns blazing. I kind of went in slowly as a child. I kind of just put myself in situations.
And you were a child.
Huh?
And you were a child.
Yeah.
حبيبتي صغيرة يعني. How much will you know at that stage? Now you know.
Yeah. But I did when I was young, put myself in uncomfortable situations. You know, I would always speak up. Like, I was like 9.
Wow.
And my dad would say things to me, and I was such a bad kid. I was the worst kid in my family. I was the worst kid in my family. I was like always going out, sneaking out, like,
Rebel.
Oh my God, the mouth that I had, like my dad would say, you need to respect me. And I was like, well, you need to respect me. I was a 9. Yeah, and Nora said that to me. Oh my God, I don't know what I would do. But I was like, just this like sharp tongue, you know? And so I think there is a part of me where it's my nature, but then, but you know what, I have a thing to ask you, because you said like the stakes are high, but for anybody, their stakes are high. So even if you have nothing, like let's say you're just starting out your career and you haven't built anything, you could still lose everything, you know? And then that's still your stakes are high.
Yeah, right.
You know?
It's
so
subjective.
I did feel like my stakes were high, but I feel like they were just as high as everyone else's, you know, in some ways.
I don't think, I would like to say yes, but I won't, because I do think, يعني انت مثل ما قلتي منجارو. If you use it, at least 1 million women will use it.
I know for a fact people will use it.
So if you say, let's speak about this injustice with Palestine, a million people who are afraid to speak will be like, let's speak. So anything you do as Huda, whether you like it or not, don't undermine it. It has an influence. Today you tell me, Anas, you should drink this flavor of Humantra. I'll be like, okay, I'll drink that one. عرفتي؟ يعني في influence.
Yeah.
أنا أسمع لك وكل حد يسمع. Yes, the 100 person has, maybe it's as hard for them to
Yeah.
speak, but the ripple effect is less.
You're right.
And the ripple effect مالك huge.
Sometimes I don't think I think of that. You know, like sometimes I forget.
I
like,
forget
you know what I mean? You
I'm
forget.
still Anas Mil Farid.
I'm saying.
I'm in the neighborhood.
When
that
I
she
go into the elevator, sometimes when people are like, hi, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, I forget that people, you know what I mean? Sometimes I don't know, I guess I live in a bubble, you know? Like, it's so funny during COVID, especially when I went out, I forgot. And I would go out, like my hair is crazy, I'm in my sweats and my Lululemons, which I always go out now.
hand sanitizer بتتصل.
Yes. And people are looking like, can I take a photo? And I'm like, oh my God, I forgot. Like, people know me, I need to dress up, I need to look nice. But khalas, I gave up now, I don't.
As we wrap up, Huda Kattan's journey is a powerful reminder that true courage isn't about the absence of fear, it's about facing it and still choosing to do what's right. When she took a stand for Palestine, she wasn't just risking her business or reputation, she was embracing her authenticity in a way that a few are willing to do. It was terrifying, emotional, and yet incredibly freeing. Her story is one of personal evolution, and my favorite, from the young girl who struggled with her identity to the woman who now speaks her truth. No matter the cost, Huda's decision wasn't just a political statement, it was a profound act of humanity. She proved the real influence isn't about the size of your platform, but how you use it when it truly matters. At the end of the day, her story speaks to us all, no matter where we live in life, no matter where we are in life. Standing up for what's right against the global elites, using our voice, and embracing our truth are what makes us powerful. And that's something we can all learn from this. Kudos to Huda, and of course Anas Bukhash for this great podcast interview. And thank you all for watching. Hope to catch you on the next one.